ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः।
Dear friends, we had started our study on the 5th chapter lately, and to justify the first question made by Arjuna, we have discussed with a bird's eye view of how the relevance of ideas have been developed by Sri Krishna very commonsensically, rationally. And we have discussed it threadbare. Nonetheless, I could not sufficiently highlight the importance of understanding the first 5 shlokas of the 5th chapter. It has a direct relevance to our day-to-day life if we are interested in achieving the spiritual goal. What is the spiritual goal? Call it by any name. That is why the universal definition given by Vedanta is Atyantik Dukkha Nivritti Parama Sukha Prapti. No better definition could be found out for the concept of moksha, mukti, liberation, emancipation, freedom. Atmano mokshat, Parama Sukha Prapti, Dukkhasya Nivritti, Parama Sukha Prapti. Atyantik Dukkhasya Nivritti, Parama Sukha Prapti. Now, let us start from the positive way. Parama Sukha, sublime happiness, sublime joy, sublime pleasure. Parama Sukha. How could that be achieved? Dukkhasya Atyantik Nivritti. The very concept of misery, sadness, unhappiness, the very concept will disappear from your thinking. When you come and tell me, I'm very sad, I will ask you, what language are you speaking? I don't understand. What is sadness? What language is it? That means it has been eradicated, uprooted from your concept. Atyantik Dukkhasya Nivritti. Total disappearance of the concept of sadness, misery, unpleasantness, unhappiness, whatever you may say. But you don't live in vacuum. You are totally full of Parama Sukha Prapti. That is our goal of life. In the present age, as we are struggling for our livelihood, struggling to fulfill our worldly ambitions, and the social structure is such that we have to live in it. So the concept of karma yoga is an answer to this problem how do I live in this world at the same time I am pursuing my goal of moksha or mukti, that is atyantika dukkha nivritti paramasukha prapti. The first 5 shlokas of the 5th chapter, starting with Arjuna's question, which is very commonsensical, very rational, and it is our question to Sri Krishna. Arjuna is our mouthpiece. Now, why is that confusion in Arjuna? Why did he ask this question? Because Sri Krishna, right from the beginning up to the end of the 4th chapter, has been using 2 words, karma sannyasa and karma yoga. From the grammatical point of view, karma sannyasa is total rejection of activity, which for a common man is not possible, because life and activity are obverse and reverse of the same coin. So, I will be alive, that I am aware I am alive is an activity. So, activity without life or life without activity is just not possible. And sannyasa means total rejection. And when he says karma sannyasa, all of us, we feel we have nothing as duty in my life. I will have the freedom of the irresponsible. That is not spiritual life. And next breath, Sri Krishna says, karma yoga. Perform your duties of life in a particular manner, in a particular way. So, rejection of karma and performance of karma in a particular way. Sri Krishna has been using these 2 words very frequently in the 3rd chapter, in the 4th chapter, even in the 2nd chapter. Now let us not go back so far. The last shloka of the 4th chapter says, Tasmat ajnana sambhutam ristham. First quarter of the shloka. Ristham ajnana sambhuta. Ristham sambhutam ajnanam. Tasmat, therefore. That which is established in your awareness. What is that? Ajnana. I do not know who am I. As because I do not know, that void, that vacuum is being filled up with I am the body, I am the mind, I am the life force, I am the intellect, I am this ego. Aham, I am. I have filled up that void with all types of misconception, misunderstanding, mistaken identity. I have filled it up with it. Ristham, it is in my being. Ajnana sambhutam. Ristham sambhutam ajnanam. Tasmat, therefore, jnana ashina atmana. with the knowledge of your true original nature, please kindly get rid of this doubt as to who am I forever and ever and ever. This is the meaning of the first line of the closing shloka of the 4th chapter. But the 2nd chapter says, Enam sangsayam chitva, having cut into threads, having totally eradicated this doubt, this hesitancy, this samskara, get rid of it totally. How? Yogam atishta uttishta parantapa. Hey Bharata, uttishta. Be established in the concept of karma yoga and raise yourself up and start performing the duties of your life. The immediate duty is to eradicate evil from the human society by conducting this warfare. This is how Sri Krishna ends the 4th chapter. He uses the word jnana, he uses the word ajnana, he uses the word yogam, and he says atishta uttishta. That means you have a very solid foundation to stand upon and rise above all these doubts that has assailed you. Doubt of what should I do, what should I not do, based on ignorance which has a hold on it. That is how he closes the 4th chapter. Arjuna, as our mouthpiece, as our representative, hears it very carefully, and he is a very, very dedicated, involved student. So the 5th chapter starts with Arjuna Uvasa. Arjuna is asking a question. What does he say? Sannyasam karmanam Krishna. Hey Krishna, in one breath, from one aspect, you're talking about karma sannyasa. Punar yogam cha sangsasi. And you are also instructing me, inspiring me to be a karma yogi, to be a karma sannyasi, to be a karma yogi. How can both be performed, Sri Krishna? To me, sannyasa means total negation of all performance of duties. And karma yoga means performance of your duties in a particular manner. Where do I go from here, Krishna? That is why the 2nd line of the verse says, Jat Shreya, of the two, that which is better. Etayor ekam, between the two, the one that is Shreya, that is better, tanme bruhi, please kindly explain to me, shu nishchitam, without any ambiguity, definitely, correctly, properly, where there is no scope of making any mistake, without any ambiguity. That is how the 5th chapter starts. Let me repeat again. What does it mean? Arjuna is not yet in a position to understand what is karma yoga and what is meant by karma sannyasa. And Arjuna wants to reach that place Atyantik dukkha nivritti paramasukha prapti. An absolute universal definition of moksha mukti, liberation, in emancipation, freedom. Please kindly tell me which is the better of the two which I can follow in my life and be one with my God. That is what is said. Shreya, that will lead me to my goal. This is how the 5th chapter starts. Though it is a repetition, but as I told you, my dear friends, I cannot sufficiently highlight the importance in our day-to-day life. What is this concept of karma yoga? In the modern age, in our lifestyle today, yaga, yajna, havana, purasharana is just out of question. It is obsolete. Whereas I am an active, living, throbbing, vibrating entity. Is there any way that I live in this world, but I live in such a manner that I am not bound down by my karma, karma bhoga, karma bandhana, but I get karma mukti. I get freedom from this sense of bondage. This is how the question has been put in, and I now think it is crystal clear to us. Now let us see how Sri Krishna answers to this question. Sannyasa karma yogascha nisreyasha kara ubhau tayostu karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. Please underline the word karma yoga vishishyate. This is the essence of this shloka. Let us first paraphrase it, word to word meaning, then we'll get into the discussion. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, in reply to Arjuna's question, Sri Krishna replies, Sannyasa karma yogascha, sannyas and karma yoga, nisreyasha kara, both of them, ubhau, both of them are nisreyasha kara. Nisreyasha means mukti, moksha. Kara means to that. That is, karma sannyasa and karma yoga both lead to the same goal. Please understand the words now. We will discuss what does it mean. Sannyasa karma yogascha chakara, both of them. Nisreyasha kara, they are means to realization. Ubhau, both of them. Nobody is behind the other. It's a neck-to-neck race to that goal. But as you wanted to know which is better, Shreya, good, better, best. Shreya, Shreyan, Shreshta. Of the two, which is the better? You have asked me, of the two, tasma'at, tayostu, between the two, karma sannyasat, comparing to each other, from karma sannyasa, karma yoga vishishyate. Karma yoga has an edge over karma sannyasa. It is excellent, it is better, it is special. Though both leads to the same goal through different paths. Ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti. Truth is one. Knowers of the self, though have known the truth, they say there are many paths to lead to that goal. Karma sannyasa will lead to the goal. Karma yoga will lead to the goal. Between the two, I would say there is an excellence in karma yoga which karma sannyasa does not have. This is how Sri Krishna replies. So what does it mean? How could two different paths lead to the same goal? There are many examples in the scriptures. I will quote two of you. Himalaya is 2,500 miles long, and we do not know how many glacial rivers come out of the Himalayas. Kitne dharaएं, how many flows come out of drips of water melting the glacier, comes out of it. They become small little water flows. They keep on meeting with each other. Whatever it may be, whichever the landmass they flow through, ultimately they reach the goal, the ocean. They reach the goal, the ocean. Origin is from thousands and thousands different points in the world. Origin of the water flow. But the end goal is the sea, the ocean. Similarly, humans all over the globe, because of geographical impact, social customs, social definitions, social traditions have developed. As for instance, in Bengal, the concept of purity is bathing 3 times a day. Physical purity. 3 sandha, you bathe 3 times a day. Is it possible in Iceland, in Alaska? They hardly bathe. So to say bathing is a must is only a ritual for a geographical matter. So the traditions of whole human society spread around the globe is conditioned by nature, nature's impact and geography of the place and weather system of that place. Religious practices, food habits, behavior pattern is all modulated according to that. But there is no nation in the world which has not produced saints and seers and realized souls. That is one goal, Nisreya Shakara. So this is one example. There's another geometrical example, which Swamiji said for the modern man. What is a circle? A center, a radius, and a circumference. When you divide the circumference into 360 equal parts, Each part is known as a degree. So a circle consists of 360 degrees. Now, that degree is subdivided into minutes. Remember your geometry classes. That means 360 into 60 is number of minutes on the circumference. And then you multiply that with 60 is the seconds. And you can check me up if I am wrong. 1,296,000 points known as seconds are in that circumference. From that 1,296,000 points, from each point, if you draw a perpendicular, you will reach the center. Paths are different from the circumference, but the goal is the same. So, Karma Yoga is meant for people who are possessed with a sense of duty. This is my duty of life. What is it? I must be one with my God. All other duties are mistaken sense of duty. But I find myself in a position that I can't run away. I can't run away. I can't be an escapist. I can't be a defeatist because my conscience will prick me. Viveka Buddhi will prick me. You have done something wrong. That is not the way to live. But as I am constituted, I work with a motivation, with an expectation, with a desire to be fulfilled. When that motivation, expectation and desire is fulfilled, I am successful, I am happy. When somehow or other my motivated expectations and others is not a success, it is a failure, I am broken down, I am depressed. So what I am doing to myself, I am becoming a slave of my circumstances. I have no control on this world. There's no guarantee that I'll be successful all the time. No guarantee that I'll be defeated all the time. It is a swing of a pendulum between success and failure. That is what it is. And I, like a stupid ass, identify myself with it, and I feel happy, and I feel miserable, and that too temporary, transitory. Something happens when my happiness is taken away. That is what life is. The Karma Yoga is a universal approach to each and every human being who feels, as I am constituted, as I find myself to be, I can't run away from my duty. Where do I go from here? Karma Yoga teaches you how to perform your duties in life without any expectation, motivation, desire. Immediately, the modern psychologist would say, no activity is possible without a motivation, without a desire. No activity is possible. That's true. I agree. Look at what the scriptures say. Not to be motivated by worldly motivation should be your motivation. Please try to understand me. This is the crux of the whole thing. I have found out by self-analysis, I swing like a pendulum between pleasure and pain, between happiness and sadness, between ecstasy and agony, because fulfillment or non-fulfillment respectively of my desires. Now, can I perform my duties without being desirous of these worldly desires? Yes, theoretically, I would expect nothing, but I'll perform my duty. As because I am habituated in expecting, it is extremely, extremely difficult to perform. Easy to speak, difficult to perform. So the scriptures say, I'll make it easy for you. You know what is work and what is worship? The four components are the same. In work, physical involvement, emotional involvement, rational involvement, and I am doing is egoistic involvement. That is work of the world. What is worship? You come to a place which is known, it symbolizes the presence of God. It may be a picture, it may be a statue, it may be a pebble, a stone, signifying nothing. But you say, that is Shiva Linga, Vana Linga, that is Narayan Shila, Vishnu. You impose that on him. And you think God is there. Now listen, what do? You fold your hands and do pranams. Physical involvement. Emotionally you are involved because you see God present there and you are interacting with God. Rationally, you have convinced yourself that this picture represents, symbolizes God. And egoistically, you are worshipping. What is the added factor? The added factor in a shrine is you are aware of presence of God. And as soon as you are aware of presence of God, your work converts itself into worship. The fifth dimension over the fourth. And you do your duties as a worship to Him. I live for Thee. I work for Thee. I perform my duties for Thee. I do not have time for puja, parvana, etc., etc. I've converted my flow of life into an endless awareness of the divine, and all that I do, I offer to Thee, O Lord. They may be full of mistakes, they may be full of faults. Doesn't matter, dear Lord, this is all that I have to offer. So you convert your concept of work into a concept of worship. This is karma yoga. Now, there's another aspect which is psychological, but it is to be known. In karma sannyasa, you think, I have renounced. You think so, but you don't put yourself into test. You keep on thinking. The chances of self-deception are huge and great. Whereas in karma yoga, as soon as you feel disappointed, your conscience, your vivek will tell you, you have not done it properly. You have expectation. Because that expectation is not fulfilled, you are unhappy. Therefore, Acharya Shankara, in the second chapter, in one of his portion of Bhashya, has warned us. Tatra, in this process of performing karma yoga, tatra Ishvara api me tushyatu iti sangam tvakta. Let that desire does not dawn into me that I am such a worshipper of the divine. I am converting life into karma yoga. God must be pleased with me. God will do His business, you do yours. Iti sangam tvakta. Have no expectation from Him. He knows when, how, and where to reward you. So this is why he says karma yoga vishishyate. That is, karma yoga has an edge over karma sannyasa because while performing, you can test yourself. Whereas there is no testing laboratory, all that may happen is you may be a heap of self-deception. There are some stories in our scriptures where many, Rishi Bhamadeva and others, thought they have done it, but seeing something, the vritti that came to their mind was a worldly vritti. And they said, oh dear me, I have been chasing a wild goose. I will go back to karma yoga. Anyway, now we have got an answer from Krishna, Sri Krishna, that between karma sannyasa, that is relinquishing that sense of ego in performing your duty, is not so easy, and therefore it is not advisable. He doesn't mean any harm to us. That is why he says karma yoga vishishyate. And that is why I told you, my dear friends, underline the word karma yoga vishishyate. It has an edge over. It has some special flavor which karma sannyasa does not have. It has special checks and balances in the growth of your spiritual life. This is how Sri Krishna answers to the questions that has arisen by Arjuna. Now for the next 3 shlokas, Sri Krishna will tell you the excellence about karma yoga. The shloka number 3rd, 4th and 5th. In 3 shlokas, he will tell you what is the excellence of karma yoga compared to karma sannyasa. Let me read the third shloka for you. Gya sa nitta sannyasi jo na dveshti na kankshati nirdandho hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. This is how he starts praising, eulogizing, admiring to convince you that a normal human being as we are as of now, for us, karma yoga is the way. Now, let us read this shloka word to word, and if I have time enough, I will develop the idea. Gya sanitya sannyasi. Know for certain such a person is forever and forever to be treated as a sannyasi who has rejected all the temptations, the bondages, the pleasures and failures of the world. Know for certain such a person, he will define the person later on in the next half. Know for certain such a person is a nitya sannyasi. He has relinquished everything of the world. How do I know? What is his definition? Jo, he who, not dveshti, has no aversion, no dejection, and kankshati, no desire. Who is ever free from desire and aversion. They are two sides of the same pole. Happiness, misery, sadness, joy, call it by any name. Similarly, dvesha and raga. Raga is attachment, dvesha is aversion with an amount of hate. I don't want this. And if you happen to have it, you are annoyed, you are angry. And I want this. If you have it, you are in cloud nine. If you are not, you are in deep depression. A person who has educated himself or herself in such a manner that nothing in this world can make him a victim of desire from this world or aversion from this world. Seek not, reject not. Whatever comes your way, it comes, it goes. I am not bothered. I am not bothered. Whether the best of my life comes my way or the worst situation of my life comes my way, I am not bothered. Na kankshati, na dveshti. A person who has developed this discipline into himself and he is absolutely poised, ensconced in it. You can't drag him out of it. How? I am Sridharananda. Till the last breath of my life, you can't drag me away from this idea. it has such a hold on me. This concept of aversion and concept of desire has totally raga and dvesha, that is aversion and desire, has totally disappeared from his personality. Know such a person to be Nitya Sannyasi. That is, Geya sa Nitya Sannyasi, jo na dveshti na kangshati, nirdando hi mahabhavo, sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Hey Mahabaho Arjuna, you are a man of prowess. Why don't you apply that prowess to management of your own self and become nirdvandha? Dvandha is duality, pleasure and pain, happiness and agony. That is the duality, the swing of a pendulum. Be steady. Nirdanda mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Very easily he comes out of the bondage of this world. So see how inspiring, how commonsensical it has been put to you by Sri Krishna to be followed in our day-to-day life, so that while living in this world, we proceed to that level where I can be addressed as a Nitya Sannyasi. That is the sannyas, not the stoppage of activity. Rejection means the attachment portion with the activity. I am doing. This I am doing is the last which has to be broken aside. I do nothing. I am Nitya, I am Suddha, I am Buddha, I am Mukta Svabhavan, Satchidananda Sarup Atma. That is what I am. Living in this world, I am not of it. I am in it, but I am not of it. I belong to elsewhere. This is how Sri Krishna introduces the 5th chapter, known as Sannyasa Yoga. What is the true concept of sannyas? Not a physical relaxation, not a physical rejection, but from within yourself, you are totally detached. And Sri Ramakrishna used to give an example. When a coconut is ripe and it is not broken, it dries up further, the water in the coconut dries up, and then the kernel of the coconut gets detached from the shell. It looks a full coconut, but when you shake it, you hear a tuck-tuck noise. It is detached. You be like that ripe coconut. On the look of it, you are an ordinary human being, but within yourself, you don't belong to this world. You are there. You are seated in such a level of awareness from where you cannot be removed. Sthita. In the next shloka, you will use the word sthanam, shloka number 5. Slanam. That is the place. That is the platform. Well, dears, let us stop here for the day. We will meet again next Sunday.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.